Heligoland Bight. This is a new map set to be featured in the Battlefield 1 Turning Tides expansion, or at least the second part of it, and right now is available to be tested on the CTE. Now, I was lucky enough to be involved in a little event that allowed me to check out the new Heligoland Bight map, see what was going on in there. It is of course a white box situation. We've seen this before with the Cape Hells map and of course Achi Baba when they were being tested. So it's not really a full representation of the finished product. The map is going to be changed a lot, and this video is going to serve as kind of a checkpoint to where the map has got to so far and what they will possibly do to it before its full release. Now, a little background on the name. It's a bit of a mouthful, Heligoland Bight. It's of course located in Germany. Now, the first battle of Heligoland Bight was a naval battle, of course within the First World War, and happened in August 1914 between the United Kingdom and Germany. Now, the location itself is in the southeastern North Sea, and you can definitely tell this when looking at the map. It's fairly bleak. It does look like it would be located in that sort of area. It's certainly far different from some of the other water maps that we have seen so far, whether you're looking at something like Albion or whether you're looking at something like Foul Fortress. This is a completely different experience altogether. Now, the first battle took place in the southeastern North Sea when the British attacked German patrols off the northwest German coast. Now, there were two battles in total, the first in 1914 and then the second one in November 1917. The second battle of Heligoland Bight, also called the Action in the Heligoland Bight, was an inconclusive naval engagement fought between the British and the Germans again. Many large ships were damaged, of course. It was a huge battle. When we say huge battle, you're looking at maybe a couple of battle cruisers or battleships per side, a few light cruisers, a couple of destroyers. Not a massive battle, but again, in terms of World War I, it was pretty large scale. The first battle saw far more naval combat with many more battle cruisers on the British side. 5 battle cruisers, 8 light cruisers, 33 destroyers and 8 submarines were involved in the push to take out German naval vessels. DICE have given it the description as a great war at sea, engaging in an epic naval clash as the British Empire Royal Marines and German Navy pit dreadnoughts, destroyers and aircraft against each other while infantry troops fight by the iconic red cliffs of Rocky Cove. Now, of course, being white box, you don't get to see the red cliffs of Rocky Cove. They're in fact the white box cliffs of Rocky Cove, but nonetheless, you can kind of picture what it might look like if they were to complete this in its current state. Now, I for one did not enjoy the map at all, and of course this thing's going to be fixed before it comes out. but I thought it was absolutely terrible. One of the worst maps that I've played on a Battlefield game, and the reason for this is the balance in vehicles. It's so poor in Battlefield 1, and it only really comes to your attention when you're playing on a map that doesn't have anything to counter them. So for example, there were planes on this map that were just free to farm, and we've seen this on Cape Hells too. There was no way of taking them down. Again, we weren't playing 32 versus 32, so it wasn't really the full experience, but I'm pretty certain it would be quite similar even on a full server. Attack planes could just do top downs, kill infantry without any problem whatsoever. The cover was non-existent, the flag to flag distances were way too far, and there was no way to travel from A to B. You'd take a boat and you'd get taken out by a plane, you'd get sniped off it, something bad would happen. There was no way to get from one flag to another. On a map of this size, that is a real problem. I even have clips in the background, and this took half a game to find, people swimming from the base to the land. A 5-minute swim. I mean, that is something that should never be happening on Battlefield. A real disappointment, to be honest, from my opinion. Now, do I think they can fix this? Yes, of course. There are many things they can do to fix this. Change the balance of planes, maybe make only bombers available, or change the way that the fighters and attack planes operate. Far more AA guns and a really high height ceiling so they can duel up in the air away from the AA guns, and maybe not be so inclined to attack the ground troops. In terms of the naval battles, I'm not really too sure what to expect. I mean, we've been promised naval battles. I was expecting some really big, awesome ship fighting out at sea and maybe infantry fighting on those boats, and I think that's what they're trying to go for. But again, it's difficult to judge it at this stage. We really need to see a completed map before I make a proper comment on that. In terms of the game modes, we were playing Conquest. More of a conquest assault where one team gets all the flags to start with. We've seen it in Cape Hells. I don't like this approach at all. I think it makes balance far more difficult to achieve, because if you have an unbalanced team on the side that starts with all the cap flags, so that would be the German Empire, they just keep all the flags, and the British Royal Marines will spend most of their time in the water swimming to try and cap a flag that will then be instantly overturned again. We saw that again in the event. Other game modes that you'll be able to see on this map but I haven't yet tested would be Domination Rush, TDM, War Pigeons and Conquest Assault, very similar to Conquest, apart from the balance in the vehicles. Overall, I really need to see this map completed before I can make a proper decision on whether I like it or not, but they certainly have a lot of work to do at DICE. Let me know what you think of the map from what you've seen in the background. Were you lucky enough to join the CT and test it, and have you got any opinion on what they should do to it in order to fix it? Thanks for watching, guys. I'll catch you in the next video.